hello, and welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of this ragtag group of heroes and adventurers.
Hi everybody, I'm Claire. I'm playing Mira, who's a Dragonborn Sorcerer, half red dragon, half silver dragon. Originally was a bit of a politician, and now has joined the adventuring life, probably to a greater extent than she ever expected.
I'm Michael. I'm playing Lockie, a Warforged Artificer. Originally was part of a flying castle, but I've since left and resumed an adventure with my now friends.
Cool. Hey guys, I'm Jared, and I play the character of Jin. He is a level 6 Law Bard and a level 2 Hexblade Warlock. I'm currently an associate and ally of the Tempest Guild, and I'm helping them in their goal of stopping the Queen of Dragons, Tiamat.
Hi, I'm Ali, and I'm playing Lyra, the Moon Druid, who has previously been stuck in a gemstone for the past 600 years, but has since escaped.
Hi guys, I'm Matt, playing Yervith, the sneaky Wood Elf Ranger and Rogue, who, after a tragic incident in the jungle with his previous expedition, has now joined up with this lovely ragtag group of adventurers and is looking to see what happens next.
Hello, and welcome. Oh man, yeah. Hey, welcome to the Lost Archives. My name's Owen. Hey, everybody, say hello. Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for our Tyranny of Dragons campaign for episode 55. We're 55 episodes in. That's just crazy. And you guys are still just plodding along, taking your time. No rush. No urgency in preventing Tiamat's return, just enjoying yourselves and taking it nice and slow, which I love. It gives me lots of time to throw lots of random shit at you. So thank you everybody who joined us last night for our Avatar: The Last Airbender stream. It was a different night, that's right. We're now doing them on a Tuesday night, just to really confuse you. So that means if you join us on a Tuesday and Wednesday, you get back-to-back Lost Archives RPG. Really, really fun session of Avatar Legends last night. We got to explore a little bit more of the Misty Palms Oasis, got to learn a little bit more about the library, the lost library of Wan Shi Tong, and also about the history of the Wan Shi Tong Desert as well. And the party interacted with some spirits, so that's going to be lots of fun as well for next session. So do if you're a fan of Avatar or a fan of Dungeons & Dragons or a fan of any RPG, please come and join us for those. They are lots of fun. And we actually got the audience to vote last night on the name of the group Sandship. So we will be doing a lot more audience interaction as time goes on, as I get the hang of it. So yeah, we do have more opportunities for you guys to shape the narrative and shape the story. So yeah, that should be lots of fun. But tonight, we're playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, so we better get into the story. Now, last session was a slightly shorter session. Essentially, the characters have been traveling by airship around the world of Nostea, this vast land that is very, very ancient and full of magic, full of secrets, but also full of danger, as the party have been discovering. The particular danger that they are facing off against at the moment is an organization known as the Order of the Dragon, or the Cult of the Dragon, if its members are not being asked questions. And so this group, which have been active on Nostea for a number of decades, many hundreds of years, originally were interested in bringing dragons back from the dead as Dracoliches, these undead dragons they could control, but now seem to be focused on bringing Tiamat, an ancient chromatic dragon god, very much evil, very much malevolent, back into the world for some unknown gain or unknown purpose. I don't think you guys have figured out what's in it for the cultists yet, have you? No, I don't think you have discussed that. The party know that this ritual required to bring Tiamat back involves a lot of wealth, a lot of power, 5 chromatic dragon masks, and also Mira. However, what shape or capacity the ritual requires Mira, whether it's just a bit of blood or her sacrifice, you guys don't know. For podcast listeners, Claire just sliced across her neck with her finger. I think Claire suspects that Mira is a sacrifice required for the ritual. Is that your suspicion, Claire?
Suspicion? Yes.
Indeed.
Nikki DM.
Hey, don't look at me. It's not me. It's the Cult of the Dragon. It's nothing to do with me. I'm just the narrator. I'm just narrating the story here. It's not me. Last session, our party faced some very interesting and some unintended consequences of their recent escapades in the Noonian jungle. As a result of interactions and the capturing of Alaram, the head of the UNT and the old leader of Lyra's Druid Circle, as well as Varum the White, a dwarf leader of the Cult of the Dragon, the group unwittingly allowed Alaram to activate some very intricate, very experimental magic, which has resulted in a bit of a significant change to one of our players. Ali is, her character Lyra is a Kalashtar, a twin soul, and as a result of the spell, one of her souls, the soul of Lyra, has been removed, leaving the soul of Shana, her twin soul, which has wrought some changes on poor Lyra. She has now become a UNT, and her class has changed as a result, as Shana has become the dominant life force in her body, the dominant soul. The party spent most of the last session dealing with the fallout from this event, as well as planning their next move. On board an Air of Decency, their airship that they have been sailing through the skies on, they are now faced with a difficult choice. Do they head towards the crashed airship deep in the jungle, which they've heard contains interesting loot and objects of interest and desire? Or do they stick with the original plan and head further north to the Sea of Moving Ice, where the Drakhorn, an ancient war horn that summons chromatic dragons to Tiamat's side, has been sounded again and again? And with that, we're going to jump straight back over to the players. So, we ended last session with you guys having had a long rest. You've leveled up to level 9. You've had a bit of an opportunity to read through your new abilities, and Claire, you have adjusted Mira for the new Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons module that's come out, so there's been a few little adjustments to your character. I've had a read through. It's not super broken, unlike Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, so we'll just jump straight on in with that. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, what would you guys like to do? Leosin's, we'll sort of jump in as Leosin sort of comes down to each of you and goes, right, so, plan. Where are we headed? What's the go? What are we doing?
I believe we were going to fly, at least have a look at the crashed airship on the way north.
Okay.
I think you wanted to see if what was there, see if it can't give us any advantages, or at least some gold.
Yes,
Not that we really need it.
I believe there might be some upgrades, perhaps for this airship as well, that we might be able to salvage.
That was the idea, yes.
That is what I'm hoping.
Yes.
I really would want some cannon. And also that engine on the front is a little bit tacky sometimes, so I need something for that too.
Well, hopefully it's intact, but we won't know until we go.
Right,
That is indeed true.
so we're all in agreement. Oh, sorry, Shana, sorry.
I was just gonna say, the last time you were saying that you flew near them, they reacted quite hostilely to the ship. Is there a way that we can get close enough without putting the ship in danger?
Well, that's a good question. If we could get by without them seeing us, that would be pretty handy. Do you have any magic or ways to disguise the ship, make it harder to see? I mean, it is a bloody great airship. There are some difficulties in keeping it hidden, but...
I believe that. I think we have a few special skills in that area, or Illyrian does.
For a whole ship, that might be difficult.
You could always fly out of the sun. Well, that would cast a shadow. Never mind.
I can cast a big fog cloud, but that's only 60 feet. But yeah, Illyrian, I believe that you have quite a complex. Remember when we scared off those griffins?
Oh.
Could we do the same thing?
Sounds impressive.
Yes, well, see, our interactions with Shana/Lyra have left me a little bit depleted after I tried to dispel many a magic. I do not possess those higher forms of magic currently.
I think we took a long rest. Just Did you say that, Owen?
What was that, sorry?
Did you say we took a long rest? I took a long rest.
We did before the Shana thing.
You
I
did
know.
before the Shana thing, but I'm very happy for you guys to have had a short rest. While the airship's flying, on your way to the crashed airship, it's going to take sort of 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how quickly Leosin pushes the ship to move. And if you're trying to be stealthy, he's not going to be pushing it very fast. So you've got time for a short rest, absolutely.
A short rest, though, unfortunately, will not give me my 4th and 3rd level spell slots back, which means no major image. Because I cast like counter spell, dispel magic. I cast a bunch of stuff trying to have Alaram and Lyra / Shana sort of. Yeah, I toss a lot of stuff into that.
The other alternative is we go by foot, but I don't like that option very much. I'm happy to guide you there, but yes, it is an option.
By foot seems a bit, I don't know, irrelevant. We have an airship. I mean...
Oh, I mean, if we want to stay stealthy, though.
Right, yes. Didn't you say that the jungle was a nightmare place that brought you nothing but horror and nightmares? Sleepless nights?
Yes. Well, I mean, among other things, but I'm familiar with it. And if there's no other option. I've had worse.
I mean...
You've had worse than the jungle.
What's kind of, pardon the word, attack? I suppose. Did they launch upon the ship last time you were nearby?
So they catapulted themselves at the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds dangerous.
Well, for them, yeah. For me, it was more sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Horrifying, really. I mean, imagine the sight of these tiny goblins catapulting themselves up towards this airship. They were nowhere near us. There was no way they were going to hit the side of the ship, and they just plummeted into the jungle screaming. I'm going to carry those screams with me for months.
You mentioned before that they seem to be sacrificing.
Yeah, that was my assumption, was that's how they were committing these sacrifices, catapulting themselves towards the ship. Some of them were just killing each other. It was horrifying.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely quaking in my little booties.
Could we use the ship as a distraction then? If you attract them, fly away, that would draw them off and we could sneak up with Yervith's guidance, perhaps.
Yeah. I will add, they didn't seem too interested in leaving the ship, the crashed airship last time. They kind of hung around, and as I got further away, they catapulted less of their people towards me, and then eventually got tired of that, or bored, or couldn't see me anymore, or found something else to catapult themselves at.
How many of them were there?
Oh, it's tough to say. They were sort of running around a lot, in and out of the rooms. I would estimate between 20, 30, and then if they catapulted sort of 8, 9 at us, let's say maybe one of them survived. Optimistically.
I mean, it seems like if we wait long enough, they're just going to waste themselves.
That's what I was thinking.
I can stand on the side of the ship with my shield to make sure that no one comes up.
We could just park the ship just outside of their range and just watch them kill themselves.
This seems a bit dark, doesn't it?
It's so dark.
It's a bit fucked.
I mean, we're not doing anything. It's them that are doing it.
But we know but we know the outcome of us coming close to the airship. It's not like we're like the first time I went past. I can live with myself.
Double effect doesn't work like that.
Oh, Leo said you just block your eyes. It'll be it.
Just block my eyes. But it's the screams that got to me last time.
I'm sure we have something for that.
Oh, wow.
But I'd still know. You don't understand.
Oh no, I do understand. Trust me. I've heard screams before.
Great role model for Barry.
The kid, the small child Barry's just up on deck, being like, "Do you reckon they're trying to fly?"
They could be, Barry. We don't know.
Is that how you learn how to fly? Could you catapult me off the ship? Then I could fly.
No, none of that, Barry. Maybe they just really like airships.
I don't speak Goblin, so I'm not sure what they were saying. Sorry.
Does anyone speak Goblin?
Last.
No.
Yeah, I'll bet none of you took Goblin as your language for the Tyranny of Dragons campaign, but you've all got fucking Draconic, don't you? Not all of you needed it, just one of you needed it, but all of you took it. One of you could have had Gobbo, but no, all of you had to speak with dragons. No one cares for the lonely Gobbos.
Well, I can make a stuff encased in a fog cloud, potentially, and 100-foot.
It's not a bad idea. Does the fog cloud move with the ship?
Jin, is there any way that you could increase the volume of your voice to a crazy degree? Because if we can have a fog cloud, and we can shine a couple of lights through a fog cloud to look like, eyes, increase your voice to some crazy pitch, it could sound like some kind of cloud demon.
Well,
I've got a minor illusion we can add to that.
Yes, I can only really add minor illusions to it, or some sparks or something. I can't make my voice boom. Okay, I don't have thaumaturgy.
I have thaumaturgy, the cantrip.
There you go.
Oh,
We have a resident.
how useful.
Yes, perfect. Leosin, I think you should be the one to try this out.
How does this sound?
Ah!
Is that
Did he
better?
cast that
How's
with? Did he cast that with thaumaturgy?
Yeah. I did just then.
So that
How was
booms
that?
3 times.
That woke me up. Yep. That sounds good. Good to me.
If you can create one eye, I can create the other. We can make them big, glowy, and scary.
I have this thing, just a second, and he gets the mace off his back and like twists the handle and it shines
That's good.
right in 30 feet.
Yeah. Alright, what do I say? Scatter puny roaches? How do we feel about that?
That's good, yes.
Do we know that the goblins speak common?
I think I might get the gist, potentially.
If anyone could... Sorry, yes, you have.
No, I was just going to ask you what they looked like. Were they wearing anything perhaps tribal or...
Yes, so they had...
Unique to the jungle, perhaps?
Yeah, so they were dressed in mostly sort of leathers and snake skin and things like that, lizard skins. They had intricate tattoos. I swear they looked like they could have been some sort of schematic.
Oh, not again.
Interesting.
No, not like the pile of ash. He points towards Alaram's ashen corpse, which is sort of still blowing partway off the deck, because none of you cleaned it up. So every so often the wind just takes a bit more of the ash away.
I mean, excuse me. Mira would absolutely have cleaned up the deck.
Okay. Sorry. But Mira didn't say that she cleaned it up.
That's true.
Mira just notices for the first time and goes like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't look like a magical spell tattoo. It looked like, if I had to get it would look like engine diagrams.
Lucky.
Really?
That's
Perhaps
sounds
a
like we
god
don't
is
have to
in the
go-
machine.
We're not gonna skin these goblins to make a goblin map, are we?
Well, I don't think
Well,
anyone else was thinking that, were they?
I mean,
Hang on. Whoa.
I didn't jump to that conclusion, but
Quick
quick
pause. Quick pause. Ali, the way you said that implied it was a natural progression of everyone's train of thoughts, right? But I'm gonna make a guess here. I don't think anyone's train of thought had quite got to that station. That feels like a deviation somewhere off tracks that are covered in rocks and
I was
brambles.
thinking like, they probably found it in a chest, and they just were like, oh, that's cool. Like,
No, we're gonna have to skin them to upgrade our engine.
Amazing.
I'm gonna let you know right now. You could not before. I had not considered that. Now that you have said that, interesting concept. I will let you know that is an interesting concept and one which I will neither confirm nor deny.
Wow.
Just delighted to think of that, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
No judgment.
Probably a long time ago, she probably would have been like, yeah, this is a great solution. Let's try this.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like previously before like her time with Lyra, Shana's response would have been like, "Well, I've got my skinning knife right here." Like no explanation of what she's doing. He just pulls out and goes, "Well, yeah, okay. It's natural to think we would go skin some goblins and make a map out of their hides.
Totally
And the
a thing.
leftovers, we could make a hat." I was a haberdasher in my previous time, but I specialized in the haberdashery of intelligent life. Intelligent life.
Are we doing the shadows, anyone?
Oh
Or
god.
which?
Leosin sort of looks and goes, I'm gonna let you know now. Not only am I not okay with us just parking the ship and watching goblins catapult themselves, this goes without saying. I would prefer we don't go skinning goblins and turning their skin
Well,
into a map.
fair enough.
Especially because we don't know we don't know that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it could be
Well,
upgrade components needed to upgrade our airship to make it move 30 feet faster per turn. But equally, it could just be random shit the goblins have put on their skin.
That's true. Goblins are known for their intelligence, as far as I know.
Goblins, and
Also,
absolutely,
it's-
Yervith.
If they're taking schematics, it could be from something they've seen in the world, like, say, the ship they're around. So,
Yeah.
I mean, do we really need schematics for a ship we're planning on salvaging from?
I mean,
Yeah,
Leosin,
good
do you
point.
have schematics for this ship on board currently, just in case you need
actually, yes, I
repairs or
do.
anything?
Yes, you do.
I do some up downstairs.
That makes
I-
logical sense. That airship would have the same thing.
Question is, though, that airship crashed, right? Do we really want to use the schematics they used to build that airship?
Well, we don't know why it crashed,
So that
I'm assuming a bunch of goblins were involved, though.
but potentially, yeah, it's possible.
it's quite.
We got catapulted on and actually landed on it.
It could also be, just thinking though, if they're tattoos that are kind of geometric, could they be the same tattoos that we saw on the lizard folk? Or on the
Tattoos
in
on
that
lizard folk.
hut? On the hut, in the hut.
Did you've interacted with lizard folk? Are there lizard folk in this jungle?
That's what they were, right? Yes.
Yeah. But Leosin doesn't know this.
No, yeah,
Oh,
so-
yeah, we didn't tell him. That's right.
You didn't
Yes.
share any of that with Leosin.
No. Oh, yes, we came across. Yes, we came across a band. They were very helpful, actually, but they had some quite intricate tribal design that was quite geometric. We
Could
need to
you-
get a closer look at the goblins.
Could you draw them for me? I could tell you if it looks similar.
Lockie?
They had a
Sure.
pretty shame about their tracker though.
Their tracker? What happened?
He stood a little bit too close to one of the deep pools in the jungle.
I will say it's a
You would know
signature.
better.
It's a signature of the
Owen.
Tempest Adventuring Guild that people around you tend to suffer quite.
No. Listen,
Oh well, I'll fit right in there.
Leosin doesn't say that. Leosin doesn't say that.
Okay.
Yes, Jared.
I'll say that then.
Owen.
Yeah, Owen. So Jin carries around a sketchbook
Yes.
where he sees like people who sort of
Yep.
interest him, and he writes them in, like draws
Yes.
them in
Oh,
for his changeling.
Yep.
So would he actually have some sketches of
Yeah.
lizardmen?
Yep. I
I'll
remember you
show
distinctly
Leosin.
saying you were going to take a sketch of the lizard folk to blend in with them. So yes, you
You
will
did.
have one of the
You
lizard
did
folk.
say that, yeah.
You did specifically say that, and then you used that sketch a couple of times to create your disguise. So yeah, you just pull out your sketchbook. Oh wow, yeah, these look very arcane. Like I'm not an expert in magic by no means, but a little bit more than Azure. These look like arcane drawings. This looks like spellcraft components. Some of these symbols I look giant to me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, these ones. If you turn it sideways, it's like push down a bit.
Oh,
That almost looks like
sure.
Oa, the giant symbol for world. And Lockie, as he says this and does it
Yes,
and
and what-
turns it 90 degrees, it does look a lot like the
Yeah.
symbol for Oa, for world.
How did I not notice that?
How do you
Oh,
know
that's right.
that, Lewis?
Well, out of Azure and I, one of us had to be the fist, one of us had to be the brain.
Right? I don't
And
well, I'm not-
One of the things I've learnt in my time here on this plane is that the giants, when they left, that really created a lot of the. I mean, the giants. This was the land of the giants. This world was the giants' world. Nostea was the giants' world. They shaped it. They made it, and their passages, their planar travel, their planar gates, is what allowed everyone else to come here. I mean, they are an integral part of this world's history and it's this world's makeup. I figured
Huh.
it would not be a small thing for me to learn a little bit of the giant script here and there where I could. And on top of that,
Yeah.
the prophecy Azure is part of was giant in origin. I figured it was probably best that I read it and understand it.
Oh, that's right.
What was the wording of that? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, it's long and complicated, and in it's poetry as well. I'm not going to recite it because I don't remember the poetry, but I can tell you the meaning. A person with twin souls, Azure and I, a traveler from another land, Azure and I, will come and be an integral part of the events that take place. A betrayer god released, and the prevention of that required our interception.
But that's also Shana and Lyra.
What do you mean?
That's the same thing. That's
Yeah.
That could easily apply to Shana and Lyra.
Lyra and Shana will as well, right?
They're not twins. They're not twins. You're just. How does your thing work?
There's two souls. Twins.
Twin
there.
souls is how it's often been said, really. But it could just as easily be any number of the old druids from the circle.
But how many of them are left? Twin souls, I mean. That woman, the ash, the dust pile,
Oh.
seemed to indicate that there weren't any left. She called you the last of your kind before she cast that spell.
Yeah. Well, there goes that theory. Well, unless Lyra is still there somewhere, but you know
Well,
how she is.
But you don't think
I
Lyra's
mean-
dead? You don't think Lyra's dead, do you?
I don't think so. I think she is away somewhere where we can't reach her, and I don't think. As all that Alaram has done, I can't see them completely killing Lyra. I mean, I also wouldn't have thought they were capable of turning the entirety of the Druid Circle into UNT, but, you know.
I meant to ask that. How did that happen?
Betrayer god.
I'm not sure if it's seeking power or. But the long and short of it is that Tiamat was whispering in Alaram's ear, promised great power in exchange for God knows what. And bada bing, bada boom, they did some learning from the pool, and then she started splitting souls and turning people into your auntie.
Right, but how did?
Don't fail to see the power.
Yeah, but how did they get turned into Yuan Ti?
I'm
How does that involve
assuming
souls?
Tiamat.
Were they seeking a stronger form? Sign of power?
Yeah, but you're a Yuan Ti now. Look at you.
Yes. I also only have one soul.
Did they only have one
I was
soul?
assuming they were one and the same. The transformation, the stripping the soul somehow gives enough power and energy to the body or the existing soul that
Right, but
the transformation is possible.
you're not the original soul for this body, right?
No, but this isn't my original body either.
Right.
It has significantly more tail than it used to.
Yes. Okay. My question is, how do you know which soul is left behind for the transformation? You were saying that they'd gotten rid of their what did you call them? Corey souls?
Sorry.
How do you know
Yes.
that's the soul that got removed?
I don't. I mean, Alaram is the same face of Alaram that.
But your
I
face is Lyra's
always
face.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You have Lyra's face. That's why I keep calling you Lyra. I'm trying my best. It's hard to remember.
I didn't actually think about that.
Interesting.
Alright. So how do we know you're not... This wasn't an intentional takeover of Lyra's body. It sounded like... I mean, I just to be sure, souls that don't originate from the body come in, are part of the body, and then the other soul's removed and they take over the body. It does sound a bit like a horror story. It concerns me quite a bit.
I think a better way to explain it is a long, long time ago when the entirety of our plane was destroyed, we managed to find other bodies and other souls that wanted to be friends, wanted to help. There was no ulterior motive to us coming, and it was a fully consensual process, by the way. It wasn't as if we came in and body snatched them.
Okay, that's good to know.
And I guess it would be akin to a twin. You know, it's growing up with someone that was always there for you. You in no circumstance would you betray your brother. You know?
No, I get you. Azura and I share the same soul. We are two halves of the same whole. So I think I get it probably more than the regular person might understand. Okay, that makes sense.
Which is
my other question is, how did you travel here? Planar travel into and off of Nostea is sealed. The ruin saw to that. How did you get access to this world? Do you know?
Here long before the ruin.
Oh.
I'm over 600 years old.
Right, okay.
Well, actually, no. Lyra is over 600 years old. I have another couple of 100 years on her.
Okay, right. Right, okay.
Yeah,
Yep, fair.
Yeah. Which is still why I'm so shocked that they gave up the other souls. Apparently willingly.
Well, that's my question. Was it?
As far as I could ask and ascertain.
We still don't know why you're a 1T now, though.
I think, perhaps, and this is just a guess as well, that the final transformation was conscious, but the ramp up, that might have been some outside influence. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, also to add to that, you don't need outside influence to brainwash people. Look at the Cult of the Dragon. Surely these people know, you would think, that bringing Tiamat into this realm is only going to lead to chaos, confusion, destruction, and death.
Unless that's what they want. I don't know what's in it for them, really.
I could never figure that out. I was a spy there for 3 months, and I couldn't figure out what was in it for them.
Really?
Promises. Yeah. This lot came across me while I was attempting to infiltrate a hatchery. I had been captured, somewhat embarrassingly.
Unfortunate.
I asked too many questions.
Say your name.
What was that? Sorry.
Did somebody accidentally say your real name?
No. That is absolutely like base level spy work. That would be a complete amateur move to say somebody's real name in a situation like that.
Can Yervith insight check that?
Yervith can absolutely insight check that. Yeah, Yervith. The rest of the party look at Mira quite pointedly.
Okay.
And Mira blushes. Like one side goes a bit pinker, the other side goes a bit bluer.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Oh, Mira.
So somewhere Teleri awkwardly scratches behind his ear for a moment. He doesn't know why.
Well, because the thing is, only Mira would remember. Oh, Jin would remember too. So the party would probably look. Mira and Jin would have they would share a look. Sorry, Mira and Jin would share a pretty pointed look and shrug to themselves and look a bit like, nah. Yeah. In a previous, a couple of sessions back, probably like 20 sessions back,
Like a long time ago now. Yeah.
Michael's character accidentally called Claire's character by her real name while they were in the midst of the cult having like successfully infiltrated them for like 3 sessions. It was like, Mira, is this how you really feel? And the guy was like, Mira? That's a name I've been told to look out for.
I think Teleri said Jins, or I said Jins, and then Andrew said Miras.
Andrew said Mira, yes. Sorry, you said Jin and Andrew said Mira.
That's why I'm looking at Leosin going, mate, it was your brother.
Do you say that?
No, No, Mira wouldn't say mate.
It's the kind of thing Azul would say, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, you think that is something that he might say, yeah.
Spy work was not his forte. He had me for that.
Yeah.
Ah, well.
Well,
Well, I can see if you look over the side, we're actually almost there. The airship has been making great time.
well, we haven't quite decided on what approach we're taking. Are we gonna cloud up and scare these goblins, or approach from the ground?
Out of interest, what are we
I think
calling this
airship.
cloud? Oh, sorry, Jin, you go.
Oh no, I just wanted to throw my vote in there. I think airship.
I agree. Happy with either option.
Okay.
Let's see if this works. Anyway.
Well,
That
like
sounds fun.
like Shana said before, we can both use minor illusion to create some very spooky, scary eyes.
Stand on the edge of the ship and stare at them menacingly, even though they won't be able to
Yes.
see me. But it'll make me
And
feel.
I'll actually,
What the fuck?
Yervith, what can you do? I've heard of a spell called Thorn Whip. Can you do it?
No, I
Oh,
cannot.
okay, never mind. I thought we could use the Thorn Whip as the tongue to like grab one of them. And pull
Oh, that would be very cool.
just
I can make a rope go up in the air and then enter a hole in reality for a bit.
Sorry, what? You could enter a hole in reality.
Yeah, extra dimension.
That seems a lot more complicated than Thorn Whip. Are you sure you can't do Thorn Whip?
It does, but no, can't do that one. I can't make the rope go out. I can
That's
only
crazy.
go up.
You can make the rope go up and into a pocket dimension of your own creation, but you can't make it go forwards.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
Magic's
Just do
weird.
it.
Magic's weird.
Yeah, it is. I don't get it. This happens.
That's crazy.
Nah. I like to call
Yep,
it like
yep.
it's called bush magic. I don't understand.
Bush magic.
Just
But surely a Thorn Whip is the bushiest of magic.
I mean, you're quite right. You're quite right.
I just sort of pat. I
If you
just
give
sort
me
of.
a thorn whip, I'll just use it like a regular
I
whip.
pat Yervith on the shoulder and like, Yervith, please just keep embarrassing yourself.
No. I'm having a conversation with a colleague here.
He's been
Okay.
in the wilderness. Let's
Yes.
not you know.
Don't question it. It's
Oh, okay.
Question.
Not questioning it.
it's
Sorry,
the
I-
wilderness. A lot of weird things happen in the
I'm a spy. My job is to question. I will let go. I feel like that's not a productive line of reasoning. I just feel like we're going to get our heads tangled around the intricacies and madness of magic.
Ah, yes, Tangle. The
Tangled
full-
by-
Nice.
Thorn whips.
Thorn
Yes. Very good. Very good.
Bushwick.
Bushwick.
Larry and I are on the same line of thinking. Excellent.
Am I going to have to homebrew Australian names for every single D&D spell now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Bushwick. Touch a desert.
Amazing.
What would Moonbeam?
Just to add something to our
Mooning beam. Sorry, carry on.
our fog demon, I can also make my blade sound like thunder. So I could probably do it like an eye with one hand, and I can quickly whack my sword around and try and get it to sound like thunder.
Yeah.
I've tried it before.
Ironically, I can also do exactly the same thing.
Amazing. I was going to get Grisha on deck and
One
have Grisha
hand
just
each.
scream.
Yeah, like Risa could just scream.
Yeah, I was going to get Grisha
Oh.
to scream.
Yeah, let's
You could still get her to do that.
Yeah, done. Let's just go for a sound and light show. Let's blow these fuckers' minds, hey?
go. Ready. We'll have to I'll have to put the fog cloud out a bit, and then we drive into it. So it'll be more dramatic, but we have to
Ooh.
stay in the cloud.
Owen,
Out. Yeah.
could I cast Presidentation in the fog cloud to make like 3 effects look like lightning?
Yeah, because you can do flashes of light, which looks like lightning inside.
Yeah.
Because you won't see the lightning bolts, you just see the flashes of light. Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can
Yeah.
press it.
So I'm going to do, because I can have 3 effects up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that as well.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
Just to add a bit of panache.
here's my question.
Yeah.
Fog cloud, how far away from you can you cast that? Is it 120 feet?
Oh god, it's like yeah, it's 120 feet.
Oh god, it's like, yeah, no, it's precisely 120 feet.
So I was looking at Ice Storm, that's 300 feet.
Ah,
That's 300 feet for Ice Storm.
ice storm.
Yeah.
It's
I
neat.
mean,
That is ridiculous.
Actually, I still would probably send them packing. They'd have to take cover for that.
And with magical tinkering,
Yes.
how loud is the non-verbal sound that I can create?
What does it say in the thing?
It says imbue a tiny magical object, magical property, 5 feet radius of light, 6 seconds long recorded message, emits over or non-verbal sound. Static visual effect with 25 words.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that it's the same volume that you could generate yourself by like shouting, not louder than that.
Okay.
Do you want to record Grisha screaming into it now, and then Grisha doesn't have to scream the whole time you just hold it up?
I mean, yeah.
Just loop up.
Actually, to make it spookier, you could record her scream backwards.
Get some like satanic messaging in there.
Yep. I'll do that.
Amazing.
Make it loud, my dear. Make it loud.
I would argue
That's awesome.
that magical tinkering, you can reverse the message if you wish. So yeah, absolutely, you could just, because there's no, from my perspective, I think you should be able to reverse the message. Yeah, so you can absolutely do that.
Cool.
Okay, so Claire, you cast fog cloud 120 feet in front of the airship, and the airship starts moving towards the fog cloud. Jin and Shana, you're creating the eyes, the spooky demonic eyes, and then also these flashes of light from Jin and Shana. Are you doing anything else with your? Are you going to have your booming blade
so
and
she's
occasionally?
just sort of like,
Jimmy, if you need to concentrate on something else, my friend, I can make a light out of my mace at the moment. I've turned it into basically a well.
We can just add it in if you like. Anything, I think, making it a bit more.
Do you know what I'm
just adds to
picturing?
it.
It's really
I
weird.
can't do much, but I can assist in any way.
I could shoot arrows out of its nose.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good.
I was thinking, if we wanted to make it even more spooky, if we're within 120, anything like within 120 feet, she's going to just randomly switch to an Eldritch Blast and just strike the top of a tree near the goblins, as if there's like lightning that's like actively striking coming out of this cloud. Just
to make it even worse, I'm just going to basically copy everything that Shan is also doing. Because I can do the booming blades and the Eldritch Blasts.
So here's what we're going to do. I would like Shana and Jin, between the two of you, figure out who wants to roll a performance check. You have advantage. All of you are contributing to this, and you're doing an amazing job. So one of you figure out who wants to roll a performance check. Roll it with advantage.
I think you've got the more performing attitude there, Jin.
All right.
I will help you.
You have advantage. This is 17, 19. Okay, beautiful. As Mira sort of concentrates and conjures this fog cloud, as you approach, you can see the crashed airship below you in the jungle. A number of goblins sort of spewing out onto the deck, sort of pointing at the airship, and then as the fog cloud emerges in front of it and fills their entire field of view, the airship sort of moves in behind it and disappears. You can hear the sounds of these sort of garbled shouts coming from below, pointing up at the fog cloud. At that moment, Jin and Shana focus and concentrate, and these eyes open up in the cloud, these massive demonic eyes, 5 foot wide, closely followed by this poof from booming blade. At that point, lightning begins to shoot through the inside of the fog cloud. These sort of splashes of light, which very sort of in the background illuminate the deck of your airship inside this fog cloud for a few moments before going dark again. At that moment, the Eldritch Blasts begin to shoot down, smashing into the ground. You watch as the goblins begin screaming. They're in the process of loading some of themselves into catapults, but at this point they all begin losing their minds and scattering into the jungle, fleeing the site of this airship as quickly as they can. You see one goblin sort of hobbling out from inside the ship, this older goblin with a long beard, completely bald head with these tattoos, very engine-like tattoos all over his body, milky white eyes, and this leaning on this long staff, sort of looking around going, trying to like call out to his companions who have just left him behind. He's sort of like looking around, listening to the noises, but doesn't seem to be able to see the effects that you are putting on. But the goblins scatter into the jungle, leaving the deck of the airship completely clear.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yervith, maybe sneak down?
Excellent. I'll have a look. Throw a rope overboard and I'll go down and have a look. See.
Give us a holler when it's clear.
Of course. I guess I throw like one of the ropes that I attached to the ship just overboard. Probably the same rope that we used to climb up.
Yeah.
To the ship.
The airship lowers a bit as well to sort of make it a lot shorter for you to be able to climb down. And so the way the airship, this crashed airship, is arranged, you can clearly see that it's actually crashed into the side of the mountain. You can see the impact crater above on the mountainside above, and then the whole deck has then slid down and into the jungle. You can see the ship itself is actually split in half at some point as it crashed down. The deck completely shattered and broken. A series of very shoddily made gangways and bridges have been built to connect them again out of what looks like salvage from the ship. Looks like the goblins have tried to connect them with bridges and things like that, but they look rickety and very unsafe. Because the aft, the front of the ship, no, is the aft the back?
The aft is the back, yeah.
Aft is the back, yeah.
Bow.
Thank you. Because the bow is at the top section, and it's a little bit higher up and not so in the jungle, that is where Legosin has sort of guided the airship and very carefully pulled it into position alongside the side of the mountain range, the caldera of the volcano that this jungle is located in.
I guess I'd go for like the large, like that would probably be where I would disembark from, like the largest area of the crashed airship, to sort of slide down and
the rope
land on that.
Down onto the deck of the ship with a thunk, and you begin sliding down. Would you like to make me a stealth check, Yervith?
Absolutely.
I assume you're being stealthy boy. I'm also assuming you guys are keeping the cloud and light show going in the meantime as well.
Yeah. If any goblins get too
27.
close, she goes to try and strike them.
No, the goblins are getting out of there. The only one that's left is this very old, very decrepit-looking goblin, maybe like a goblin shaman of some sorts, in the way he's dressed and with his staff, which has a couple of skulls on the top of it, who's looking around very confusedly, trying to sort of see where his goblin people have gone. Yervith, you are like a shadow. With all the noise and sound going on above, you are invisible. As you drop down onto the deck of the ship, the immediate thing that catches you is the deck is sloping, and you have to sort of pause for a second to stop yourself sliding forwards, but you catch your footing, moving very slowly and carefully, and begin descending down towards the entrance of the ship. As you pass towards this rift in the middle of the airship, you can see there are 3 decks. The top deck, which is where you're on now, there's a middle deck, and then a lower deck right down the very bottom. The lower deck looks like it probably was once full of goods, barrels and sacks, but these have been split open, ransacked. Whatever was down in that lower deck has been completely removed. Mostly foodstuffs from the looks of things. By the way, it's all been scattered. Like you can see swollen grain that's been left out to spoil in the rain across the ground underneath. And the jungle looks to be in the process of reclaiming that lower deck. You can see a number of vines and plants growing through, some ferns and lichen taking hold of the wood. The middle deck looks to be some sort of passenger cabins, and you can see that some of the doors are still closed. Other doors have been smashed open, and the rooms ransacked and destroyed. You can see there are these very crude paintings made out of some sort of ochre paint. But the subject of the paintings, as you look, and as you sort of shift a little bit to the right, you realize that from a certain perspective, these line up and form an engineering diagram. And then as you move into a new position, they split into gibberish again and then reform into another diagram as you move into a different position.
That's cool.
Are these crude paintings you said that they were making?
Really like finger paintings, but when you move into certain positions, they don't just become random lines, circles, and squiggles. They suddenly form into a picture of an engine.
Line up. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then the top deck is just...
Top deck is completely flat except for what looks to be the captain's cabin at the far end. The doors to the captain's cabin are wide open, and you can see, this is where the older goblin came out from. You can see there's a throne room that's been set up. All the silks and threads and cloth has been arranged in this room, just no color scheme whatsoever. Just random, like there's yellow, blue, green, red. It is just chaos. It's like they've taken anything that looked nice and just shoved it in this room to make these like tapestries. Which are rotting and slowly coming apart, being eaten by moths and the other creatures of the jungle. And there's a dais, a throne room that's been set up. The controls of the airship have been destroyed and used to make like little pointy outy bits on the back of the throne.
Okay. So the throne has basically been like that might have been the steering wheel. At some
Could have
point.
once been the captain's chair, but has now become like the steering wheel. You can see the steering wheel. The steering wheel is now part of a footrest that's been implemented.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna just before I call back to the gang, I'm just gonna scan the whole site just to see if there's any stray goblins that are.
Make me a
starting to
perception or
hang
investigation
around.
check.
Oh, definitely perception. Yay.
22. Yeah. The goblins have fled.
Okay.
They have fled from this monstrosity in the sky, this demonic creature. Fun fact: there's an extra reason why they've run away from this sky creature, which I can't share with you guys, but I will at the end of the session because it's too funny.
Awesome.
Or maybe in a couple of sessions. I'll wait until it can't possibly have an impact on the story, and then I'll tell you why, because it's so funny. But yeah, goblins have gone. You can see that they have set up numerous traps across the decks of the airship, but not so much on the upper deck. It's more to the entrances of the ship. It doesn't look like they were prepared for an invasion from above. Most of the traps seem to be on doors and things leading to the outside of the ship.
Cool. And this older goblin hasn't really like noticed anything, right? He just
you can see he's now like stumbling towards the side of the ship, looking out over the edge, trying to sort of call out to his goblin compatriots, going.
I guess the sounds are like pretty loud, right? So I'm assuming he's deaf then.
Well, every time a thunderclap goes off from the booming blade, he sort of jumps a little bit and then like looks around trying to grab onto a hand, and there's no one around him. So your suspicion is probably that he's blind.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he was deaf as well.
It could be,
okay.
But he is reacting to the thunder, so I would say no. You're pretty confident he's not. With a perception of 22, you can see him react to the thunder.
Yeah. Okay. That's alright. Cool. So I've noticed that pretty much everyone's gone.
Yeah.
Good. I rather than calling back to everyone on the deck, because I know that there's goblins still hanging out, I might like climb back up the rope and then just tell them in person what I saw. Yeah, I guess I climb back up the rope and I just sort of report everything.
Share what you've seen.
Yeah, I just say, oh well, there's that older goblin down there. Pretty sure he's blind, doesn't know where his friends are gone. No other goblins on the deck, or any of the decks for that matter. Traps on to the entry points. Looks pretty clear. If we deal with that older goblin, we should have the ship.
Do we need to deal with him? Do we just leave him be? What's he gonna do?
It sounds pretty harmless.
Probably not much, but if we make too much noise, he might know we're there. And I don't know if he'll be.
Maybe we should just not make sure he doesn't alert them or attract them back.
I mean, you said he's reaching out for a goblin friend. I mean, if he felt a goblin hand which led him away from the ship.
That's true. Look, up to you guys.
I've got a kind of a goblinish hand. I've got my claw.
I could just turn into a large goblin.
Turn into a goblin?
We could shove him in a sack and just release him when we're done.
Might make noise.
I do like the sound of that, Shana.
I vote for the hand-holding technique.
Why don't we skin him and make a map, hey, Shana?
Whoa!
That's
a bit much.
I was not bringing it up.
Whoa, yes.
I could use a new hat, Shana.
Jin.
That is messed up.
Jin, I reckon if you turn into a goblin, that'll be good.
We could just lead. You could just lead him into one of the rooms. Just close the door.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So yeah, so with the goblin obviously being a size smaller than myself, I will have to be quite a large goblin, but I can at least emulate the hand.
Just be like a normal-sized person with a tiny goblin hand on one side. Take my strong hand.
Take my strong hand.
We shouldn't laugh at that. Like, can you imagine that movie being made today? It wouldn't happen. The scary movie wouldn't happen today.
No, it wouldn't.
Back then being made today.
No.
Do you want some pie, Troy?
I will. With that, I will go back down the rope and I will just make sure I secure the deck for everyone else that's going to follow me.
Leosin sort of like calls out, like, tie the rope around something.
Ah, of course.
There's wind.
I'll,
I don't want to crash into the side of the mountain.
No problem. I'll do just that. So I'll go back down the rope and tie it off to. I guess that's probably like a railing or something.
Yeah.
That looks fairly solid. Yeah.
The bow of the ship has a figurehead. You can easily tie it around the figurehead.
What does a figurehead look like?
Oh, Yervith. As you get close to the figurehead looks like it's a young woman, but where her legs would be, the dress just sort of billows out and becomes almost like ghostly billows of fabric.
Oh.
But can you roll me an investigation check as you investigate the figurehead?
Not my strong suit, but I'll try.
It's okay.
Well, not too bad.
17. You say not your strong suit. It's got a 17. Yervith. On the face of the lady, on the other side, hidden from view, just as you sort of like are bending around tying the rope, you come around the other side and you see there's actually a black handprint on the side of her face that is slowly leaking black smoke.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Just very slight wisps of black smoke coming off this handprint on her face.
Without getting too close, like, can I look at and see what that black hand could be or might be, or what?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can tell you with your investigation check. It's a 5-fingered hand. It looks like a humanoid hand, so it could be elven, could be human.
Large or like humanoid?
Hand-sized.
Yeah, hand size. Okay.
It's a hand-sized handprint. Believe it or not.
Right.
Yeah, chuck that in a Ripley's Believe It or Not music. No, so it's just a hand-sized handprint on the side of the face. Yeah, I mean, you looking at it, you would have said it's just some black paint or some sort of like ash, maybe. The way the hand is fragmented, it's not a perfect handprint. There's bits sort of missing, and it's quite a porous-looking material. But the fact that this dark smoke very occasionally is leaking off it is a bit odd. And it's a right handprint as well, I should say, specifically.
Right hand there. Okay.
It's a right handprint.
All right. I will clock that and probably tell one of the other guys that when they come down and be like, "What's that about?" Yeah, cool.
I'll wait until the goblin's out of the way before I drop the fog cloud. I'll keep concentrating.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming everyone else is like following down onto the.
Yeah, I think it sounds like everyone's heading down the rope. Yeah, you guys will climb down the rope. With the airship parked the way it is, Yervith could have tied some knots in the rope to make it easy for you to climb down. You don't expect.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think you've used this rope to climb up and board the airship before, so you've tied knots in it to make it easier. So yeah, you climb down, climb up.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys all get on the deck of the ship, and Yervith points out this fairly suspicious, strange marking on the face.
Don't know what that is. Seems weird though.
Jin?
Yes, Owen.
You do recognize this straight away.
Yes.
Oh.
Would I recognize what it means? Would I realize what it means?
You would know that when this handprint appears, it's normally a marking for members of your ex-organization. Sometimes it's used to identify targets. Sometimes it's used to identify. It's basically a way of drawing attention to something for members of your organization. It's like an exclamation point to draw the eye. But also can be used as a warning as well to non-members of your organization. Stay away. Don't interfere.
So as Yervith points it out, Jin will sort of look at it and take it in. He'll sort of probably put two and two together that because the airship has been downed, that the target might have been. This might be a past mission. But he will go sort of. So for everyone else sort of looking at, Lyra right now.
I definitely am looking at
He looks, there's like a cold sweat sort of upon his brow. He looks a little rattled.
What's the matter, Valerian?
So sort
like
of when he speaks, it's like when I speak, I sort of like my mouth is parched of moisture, and I sort of, that might be problematic.
Oh.
Do you all remember my my little secret?
I certainly don't.
The one where we all had to share a secret.
Oh, with your with that. Yes.
Yes,
I don't.
the organization I used to be a part of. Well, they're called the Shadow Hand, and that is one of our calling, or their calling signs.
Right, that makes sense. Okay.
It's very subtle.
So,
Shadow hand.
yes. Yes, this is normally used to mark out targets or sort of warnings to others that aren't part of the organization to stay away. So this being here is very problematic. I would proceed with extreme caution. I would even advise maybe to sort of abandon this endeavor and just leave.
Wow.
I don't want to live without something, but I will take caution in what I touch.
Indeed.
Is that fair?
Yes, let us... I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if the threat is past. As I said,
can you tell how recent it is?
Yeah, Owen, can I tell how recent it is?
No, looking at it, this mark stays for months and months and months. It could have been put here yesterday. It could have been put here 5-6 months ago, and it would not fade.
Right. I say
rain doesn't affect it. It takes sort of 9-10 months for this to begin fading, and when it fades, it doesn't just sort of slowly disappear. It evaporates off into dust.
I say to
How
Yervith.
has this ship been crashed for? Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, is the ship being crashed as in, is it only been here for a matter of a few months or longer than the duration of that spell? That would give us an idea of, you know, if they've been here since the ship was crashed, or if they maybe had a part in the ship being crashed.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I think they definitely were a part of it.
Yervith, you would know that this airship was crashed when your expedition came through, because you could see it from the rim of the Caldera when you guys came down.
Yeah.
And you've been here for at least 2-3 months, I think, so it's definitely older than that.
Yeah.
The crashed airship.
It's been here a long time. It was here when the expedition came. So, you know, it's at least 2 to 3 months old. Definitely longer, from what I can tell.
Well,
do you want to make a survival check for me, Yervith? Yeah. You could probably tell based on the regrowth of the jungle around you.
Yeah, I was just thinking that actually.
Yeah, probably that would be a Yervith skill. 17. Yeah, judging by the jungle growth and the wood rot and the rate of particularly lichen growth is a very stable thing for you to track. In this caldera in the volcano, you know that the seasons don't change. It is always hot and always temperate. So lichen growth in this jungle is super consistent. This ship's been here for about 7 to 8 months.
Yeah. So you'll see you have sort of like take a knee. He like looks at these like mossy sort of floorboards and sort of like starts to like scrape a little bit, and then you just see me like kind of rise up a bit and go, yeah,
tastes
at least
a bit
it, right?
Yes,
very good.
A vintage 6 months ago. What
this is a very good lichen. I sort of go, oh man. It's judging by this growth here, I'd say it's at least 7-8 months tops. Awful long time. Enough time for the goblins to build a home here and, well, by the looks of things, ransack most of the resources.
Also means that the Black Hand may have been here more recently than the ship. They may have put it on, the ship after it's arrived in its current location.
Well, that's the thing. It is really hard to say. They could have been here before or after. Really hard to sort of figure out.
Why would the Black Hand have any business coming out here? Into the jungle, into the middle of nowhere?
Well, the Shadow Hand could have had a part in taking out the ship, or could have marked it for its cargo after it crashed. Very hard to say. This is...
There is another
Truthfully,
option.
this has rattled me.
There is another option. They could have marked this knowing you may come by.
Oh,
Well,
that's...
there might be some truth to that. Talking with Diodorus, he said that they are actually keeping tabs on me. So that could be fun.
Hmm.
I would be
Well,
careful paying attention to the words he said, unless you want to go back and, have him repeat them or something stupid.
If we are to agree with Lockie's line of thinking, they may have left other traces of their being presence here. Maybe not just on the hand mark, perhaps further in the ship. In any
Possibly.
case, I think it warrants a bit of a look around, see what we can find.
Yes!
Lockie, you'll find a very interesting little thing here, and I take Lockie to I point out in the middle of the ship with the way the paintings sort of line up a little bit. And I go,
Oh,
see,
that's fabulous.
yes. Thought that was pretty cool. Thought you'd like that.
Yes. I'm not one to go in for aesthetics, but I definitely like this.
Oh, it's not well done, but it's cool. I like the way it lines up. Does the paintings in the middle of the ship, do they line up? Do they? Oh, I mean, I wouldn't know who to ask. Is Leosin down with us?
Leosin's still on the deck of the ship, being the one who steers the ship.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I say, I wonder if that would be the same markings that the goblins have. I look at the old goblin and I'm like, do they line up the paintings and the markings?
Yeah, as you move around, it looks like the various different orientations of the sort of points of perception where you can see these diagrams line up. A couple of them are very reminiscent of some of the tattoos and some of the skin markings and paintings of the goblins.
What are
Shana
those
can, of course,
schematics of?
Cool.
Yeah, Lockie, make me an intelligence check. I'd say this would be Arcana or Investigation. Your choice. Because as you sort of move around, you can see they're different things each time.
Right, so I might start with Arcana, see if that gets us.
So,
Nice.
21. Yeah, Lockie. It looks like the goblins have actually fairly accurately and quite well have recreated different schematics for a couple of different things. If you put your head in the lower left position on the top deck, it forms part of the rotor engine required to basically move the propellers that give an airship lift. If you put your head towards the upper left and look down, you can see that it actually is a layout of the steering mechanism. And then if you get right down low again, this time towards your left-hand side, the mechanism shows the fluid intake valve for the engine. This engine appears to be, judging by this, looks to be powered by a liquid fuel. You're not sure what, though. None of them are full schematics. They're all partial diagrams, but they're fairly accurate.
This is quite fascinating. I also like the way that it views perspective in it. Because if I stand here, it's nothing. If I stand over here, it's a picture. Ah.
Yeah. Pretty clever for your typical gobbo.
That's racist.
Yeah.
I can't. I need to scratch his itch. I'm going to go and see if I can do some mechanics. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I knew you'd get a kick out of this. Shall we check out the rest of the ship while we're here? Probably keep it a bit quick. Don't know how long they're going to be gone for.
Yeah, I'll be keeping a lookout because I'm still on the ship actually. Just
Cool. Okay.
So tell you what, do you and Shana, one of you can roll perception check because you both seem to be taking a look out. So one of you can roll perception with advantage if you like.
Maybe Shana.
I can definitely try.
when two non-perceptive characters try to figure out who's the slightly less perceptive one of them. 4 and 13. Lucky had advantage. 13 is better.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So Shana's on the deck of the ship. Mira's up there, like looking around as well, being like, "What's that? oh, it's just a leaf. Oh. And then Shana goes, what's that? Mira's like, no, that's the same leaf, Shana. Oh, yeah, okay.
Probably actually like struck out with Eldritch Blast, like, you know, a moving tree.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. This monkey is like there, this big hole in the canopy next to him, like peeks out and goes like, scutters away again. Yeah, so Yervith and Lockie and Jin, are you guys, 3 of you heading below deck?
Yes. I'll be having evaded the Shadowhand for many years, or attempted to. I'll just be keeping an eye out for any other signs of them. I'll probably let Lockie and Yervith do more of the actual general sort of like spoils and other investigations. I'm on a one-track path right now.
Yeah. But I guess if you see anything, like, let us know. Yeah.
So, Jin, you're looking out for signs of the Shadow Hand, correct? That's all you're focused on.
Pretty much. Cool. Makes sense.
Do you want to roll me investigation or perception check? Lockie and Yervith, do you guys together want to roll investigation or perception with advantage? Your choice. Which one you want to go with?
I can go with perception.
You're fairly perceptive, aren't you?
Yeah, very perceptive.
I'm going to use a bardic inspiration as well, but I might not need it.
I have a very good invest. Well, sorry a second.
No!
Sorry. I'm so perceptive. Gets the same as the non-perceptive characters. Is that a leaf? Oh, it is a leaf. What's that? Oh, it's a chair. Whew.
Oh dear.
I don't think it's dirty.
Barry, how dare you scare us like this? Sitting here. Bring it in.
Is that? I think I see a naga. No, it's just a leaf.
A naga. Oh dear.
Oh, it's just Shana. Jin, perception of 24. Yeah.
Damn.
So Yervith and Lockie, as you guys sort of cross over these narrow causeways and bridges to the back half of the ship, the aft of the ship, and begin to sort of walk down the stairs and head below deck, you can see, that this part of the ship has been fairly ransacked. It looks like the next section over, where they haven't quite built bridges yet or connected to, that's where most of the rooms that aren't opened up appear to be. And as you pass through, this ship has been ransacked. Yes.
So sorry. You said you gave them advantage, right?
Oh yeah.
Matt, you gotta roll again.
Yeah, Matt, you gotta roll twice.
You rolled a 2 plus 11. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we've got a question from the chat. How do I use my inspiration points? So you click on your inspiration points, and then what you can do is select one of the options, and then just type in the chat after that what you would like to do. So, for example, if you do give disadvantage, spend your points on that. You then just say Lockie or Lyra or Owen or Mira or Yervith or Jin. I've got to say everyone now because I've said give disadvantage and I can't be accused of like influencing the audience. I've got to say everyone's name now. Same with give advantage. If you want to do summon monster, just type in the name of the monster that you want. If you do summon monster, I will give you a CR limit that you can do so that you can do that. If you want to do create an NPC, you and I will be having a chat and we'll create an NPC together, and then we'll I'll chuck in the email address that you can email to, and we'll create an NPC together and you can have them come into the story. That's how the channel points work. 13, 15. Not much better though, Matt, really. With advantage.
Look with a plus 11 to make
a little better.
What is that? Is that? Oh, it's a stool. It's not a chair. It's a different chair. So as Yervith and Lockie head through, you guys are kind of on the lookout for loot, right? You're looking for valuable items.
Yeah, more valuable stuff, I'd say. Or in Lockie's case, probably mechanics and
mechanical stuff.
I'm
looking for things like core engine stuff, gun stuff.
Yep.
He's also really wants to find a catalyzer.
Okay. I'm not going to make any promises. As you begin sort of walking forwards, Yervith and Lockie sort of taking the lead, Jin sort of following behind, a bit more cautious, a bit more perceptive. You two sort of powering on ahead, being like, no treasure, nah, empty room, nah, that's shit. Wow, that's actually that's the toilet. That's actually just shit. Carry on. Yervith and Lockie are just powering ahead. Before too long, you guys reach the section where the ship is split in half again, this rift between the two halves of the ship, and you sort of see over the edge. It looks like it's a bit of a jump. A 10-foot jump to get across. There is no bridge, there's no pathways here. If you want to get, and then the rooms on this other side, doors still closed, most of them, looking to be fairly sealed up. And the stairs that lead down to the lower deck and the engine room, Oh, actually, sorry, Lockie, I should say the engine room is behind you. So as you go down these first set of stairs, the engine room's directly behind you. So probably you would have headed that way, right? You wouldn't have gone towards the rift. You would have gone to the engine room, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, so Yervith, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So,
The engine room is that way, unless you really want to go this way. But
Oh, no. I'm happy to follow your lead. I know
yeah, okay, cool. You guys head into the engine room first, yeah. Yeah, in that case, Jin's still following close behind, so that's absolutely fine. As you get to the engine room door, it is sealed shut. There is no entrance to the engine room. It is locked up. As you try the door handle, doesn't
Completely
open.
locked. I will flip out my thieves' tools and try and lockpick the door.
Little thiefy boy.
The thiefy boy.
Thiefy boy. And Jin, we'll get to you in a minute. I'm going to let these guys do their shenanigans first.
That's
then
fine.
you and I will have a serious discussion about.
Is that just a sleight of hand, or like what is that?
Yeah. So it's a sleight of hand check.
Cool.
If you're proficient in thieves' tools. What was that, sorry, Claire?
I was just saying the same thing as you, but in a
could,
vaguer way.
could I help him by like sitting behind and being like, just do like a little backside joke? Like, I think I know that you're very good at this, but I do believe.
Yeah, Lockie, as you go to say that, he just unlocks the door and it opens.
Oh,
Very well done.
thank you, Lockie. It's been a while since I've had these out. Haven't really needed them in the jungle, but good to see they still work.
The engine room beyond, as you guys step in, you can see the engine looks to be fairly damaged, Lockie. Your initial assessment straight away, you can see the fuel tank has actually been ruptured. There's a large gash severing parts of the fuel intake. And what's most startling is that a large black gemstone has been pressed into the side of parts of the transmission wheel that sort of generates turns the spinning motion into lateral motion for the various maneuvering thrusters that are needed to keep the airship aloft. A large
sounds so
black
familiar.
gemstone has been jammed into it.
That makes no sense. Why would someone put a gemstone here?
I'm gonna look straight at Ilarion and go, "Is this shadow hand business?"
I'll actually sort of look at Lockie while he looks at me, and I go, Lockie, didn't they do something the Order, didn't they do something very similar with the castle floating in the air? They jammed a black gem or crystal into the mechanism
Yes,
to fly
they
the
absolutely
castle?
did.
Does
Yes.
that look very reminiscent, Owen, of that?
Yeah, as you say that out loud, Jin. It's very reminiscent. And what's more,
Oh, man.
Jin, the gem, same as the one in the castle, is very slightly leaking that black smoke.
So
Oh.
I'm very much like, oh, it's your shadow hand friend for sure.
Wow.
Oh wow. Uh-oh.
That's put things in a new perspective,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
I didn't realize they had their hands. I didn't realize
Ah.
they.
You guys had their hands in shadow.
I didn't realize they were.
as a figure emerges from the darkness and goes, "We're everywhere." He's back into the darkness again. Yeah.
Well, we
Oh.
broke the last one. Would we like to perhaps see if we can try getting this one out a little more carefully? Actually, wait. Oh, for what you know of the Shadow Hand, is the smoke dangerous or is it just smoke?
Jin, you know it's harmless. It's a sensory effect.
Okay.
It's it's just a sensory effect. I guess it just adds a bit more panache
Okay.
to
I see.
their whatever. Yeah, they
I suppose
for all their stealth and all that and cloak and dagger, they do like to be a little bit theatrical. They don't need to add that effect at all, but they do.
That's rather bold for a stealthy organization.
It's very thematic,
Hmm.
but it literally does nothing. They're a cloak and I don't know why.
It's like dressing up as a bat to fight crime. Why are you doing this? What's the point?
Well,
It's just drama, baby. It's just lots of drama.
all drama.
You're a big hot mess.
Well,
Is it?
we can,
Yeah.
is there anything you can usually do with these crystals? Well, actually, no. The one was literally running the castle, wasn't it?
So Lockie, you remember from last time. Lockie would remember this. what that gemstone was allowing, the gemstone wasn't changing anything to do with the ship itself. All it was doing was allowing access to a different type of energy. So previously the ship had relied on elemental energy through the use of the giant runes. That wasn't available to the people who took control of the ship, and so it was changed to using necromantic energy. So life force was fed to power the ship. So the gemstone just acted as an intermediary. So it basically was just a like a conduit.
Yeah.
But it was the mechanism around the gemstone, because remember in the castle, it wasn't just the gemstone was jammed in. The gemstone was a whole lattice structure had been built in, all these wires had been connected. So the lattice structure was actually doing stuff. All the gemstone did was it was a conduit for energy. You suspect it's a similar case in this one, but again, far less complex. Just a gemstone stuck to the side of this thing, jammed in. You, as you look at it, you don't even think it's that jammed in. You could easily just pull it out if you wanted.
So they jammed it in here to power the airship?
Either I suppose they were desperate or lacking materials because.
Well, wait a second. So it wasn't sabotaged then. Perhaps your Shadow Hand were on this airship. Perhaps.
I think from the castle, the castle was only able to fly because of the crystal. The giants who had the know-how and the materials to power the flying of the ship or the castle. This ship, maybe when the Black Hand had maybe done what they had done and needed to potentially keep flying, they might have just jammed the crystal in to keep going without materials or anything.
Yeah, you're gonna need to tell me about this flying castle after we get off this.
Oh, really? That sounds like a fantastic use of our time.
Yeah. That's. You haven't told me about that. That's okay.
So for the audience who are keen to know about the Flying Castle, you can listen to episodes 43 to 48, and you'll catch up on the Flying Castle arc.
I'll tell you all about it. She was a wonderful machine.
Well, look forward to hearing the story.
There have been a lot of stories that you don't know about.
Well, we have a lot of time coming up, maybe.
We really should have an initiation ceremony where we start loading information into people's heads.
Oh, that sounds awfully evasive.
I have my input blade right here. It's a massive knife.
Is that not the terminology? I was just going to tell you stories.
Oh, well, that sounds much better, Lockie.
Once it's directly put in, I can probably come up with something.
No, just audio.
Can't find your USB-C connection. No matter, I'll make one.
USB-C, I use Firewire, bitch.
Oh yeah, I'm going to install LimeWire so I can download it from LimeWire servers to your brain.
Oh my god!
Not LimeWire.
Yes, I'm sorry, but
I'm going to get a virus.
to give you access to this knowledge, I'm going to need to give you cancer first. So apologies.
Oh no!
Do you guys remember that? You wanted to download music for free. You had to basically download just a virus to your computer. That
I remember
permanently sat there.
God,
Oh man,
Yes.
just 90s things.
Just 90s things.
Oh man, LimeWire. If you don't know what LimeWire is, guys, don't Google it. Don't download it. It's just the worst. Is it still going?
Oh,
Sorry, keep going.
I'm pretty sure it got absolutely axed when I started doing
Discontinued. It's gone. Oh man.
So, yeah, that's gonna take a more subjective. Like after seeing that initial thing in the engine room, I'm gonna look now more for like other material or quality items that might be strewn, like on tables or on walls or in drawers. Or whatever.
You can see that
there's
there's.
straight to the engine.
Yeah. But as you look around, you can see there are various tools and components on the walls that look like they're to repair the ship should it be in trouble. But none of them have been touched. Doesn't look like, despite the damage to the engine, there's been no attempt to fix it. All of these tools and materials are just left where they are. You can see there's a big chest full of materials that would allow the repair of an airship. That'd be essential for repairing an airship. Electrum wire, copper plating, valves, things like that. Like quite expensive equipment. There's easily enough here that you could repair quite a bit of damage to the airship, your airship, if it was severely damaged.
Yeah, I guess I'll start like chucking that in a bag and just. I guess this might be useful.
As you're putting everything in the bag, I'll go. I do have this bag, and then I.
Oh, you have your. Oh, yes. That might be
He
better.
starts putting it back in the chest and
The
then just
bag of
slide the
holding is
chest
more
into the bag of holding.
handy.
Lockie, as you go over and inspect the engine, there's not a huge amount of this that looks to be salvageable. You could salvage the raw metal, but it's going to be a lot of work to make it usable. It looks like that the concussive blast of the ship striking the side of the mountain looks to have basically cracked most of the very delicate internal workings. Many of the wires look to have been severed. What's really interesting to your eyes, however, is roll me a perception check and I'll tell you. That's right. Just get you on the hook for those juicy secrets.
Perception or investigation?
Up to you.
Yeah.
Investigation or perception, your choice.
Oh,
Investigation
nice.
25. I think I said investigation, didn't I? The first time. But
You
yeah,
said
your choice.
perception.
25.
Oh.
Oh, did I? Yeah, no. Investigation.
Either of them.
25.
Either.
Lockie. The gash to the fuel tank. That was done with a blade.
Oh.
The gemstone.
As he's looking over things, he's like, and this doesn't go there. That's definitely broken. Oh, Jim, by the way, this was sabotaged. And I'm just going to look up here.
What?
What's more Lockie? The immediate thing you notice is that the connections for this lateral movement, basically the conversion disk that is required to convert the centrifugal energy into lateral energy to allow the movement of thrusters. In this case, it looks like the vertical thrusters. The gemstone that's been jammed into that, there's still these sort of crackles of energy every so often lancing off into them. And the first thing you notice is that the internal workings, the metal has been warped and melted as if it's been subjected to a great heat.
Oh.
So the warping of the metal seems to try and encase the gem, or was it done to destroy the engine?
It looks like it was done to sabotage the vertical maneuvering thrusting of the ship. Vertical maneuvering thrusters of the ship.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was sabotage. Oh.
It was
but
definitely sabotage. Someone slashed the engine, but it looks like we might need to ask Mira about this, but I believe we've got some extremely hot fire.
I will add, with your investigation of 25, you can see that fire is, that the heat is gone. This is all cooled long ago.
Yeah.
The gemstone itself, those little crackles of energy look to be holding it in place. Because you got a 25, yeah, okay. You know that effect is not side effects of the energy still being filtered. It's actually holding this in place. In fact, whatever magic was in this is almost gone. The sort of shadowy, smoky appearance is still intact, but the rest of it looks to be fairly drained. You can see that sort of light inside gemstones when they've been empowered is dim and is almost out. There's almost no light left.
Okay. There's no real power left to this gem, but you know, an unpowered gem still has its uses, I suppose. And it also seems like some kind of very hot fire. And I don't want to go out on a limb here, but it's possible it could have been Dragonfire has tried to destroy the ship alongside someone cutting this.
Very, very focused Dragonfire, by the looks of things.
Well, it looks like it was a very focused hit, nonetheless. I mean, if you're going to go for a single, shot to take out a ship, this is what you get.
Absolutely, and you would know.
Well,
so, my friends.
if the crystal is here, and there's signs of the Shadow Hand, and there's examples of extreme heat, back at the castle that was owned by the Order of the Dragon, maybe they actually might have an allegiance of sorts with, or at least have contracted the Shadow Hand.
Seems reasonable.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. As Jin just starts walking around a little bit, and just sort of throwing his arms up and going, great. Fuck.
It's all right though, Jin. You got me on your side. I'll help you out.
Great.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks. That is great.
The man who
Thank
can't
you
even
so
cast Thorn Whip.
Yeah, just what's up in the air?
DM
Damn.
Sorry.
Fucking-
But he can cast a way better spell. So
Yeah. I don't know how it works, man. It just.
I do. It just occurred to me how hilarious that was. That you can cast a rope trick, but Thorn Whip's like, nah, it's beyond me. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
My feeble body cannot manage.
Can I even...
Would I get the impression that removing this gem would cause any, cataclysmic explosions or?
Nah, your investigation, you think that whatever magic is left in this thing is very minor. It's quite weak. You don't think it would cause anything cataclysmic to the ship.
Alright, I'll try and I don't think I'm the one to do this. Just quietly.
Okay.
I'm not exactly gentle.
Oh. I'm happy to remove it for you.
Yervith has gentle hands.
You have gentle hands.
He showed
You
us
look,
when
you look
snapped
at the
that,
calluses and scars up Yervith's hands and arms from like months of living alone in the jungle with all the dangers that accompany him.
Yes, gentle.
Yervith, when he looks at his hands, he just sees the blood dripping from them.
I remember when you maniacally took out that Yuan tea in the jungle.
Yeah, flashbacks.
Yeah.
If you want, I can have a go at removing it. If
Yes, I'm not
perhaps
touching that.
I can tell you where to. I can give you an idea of the bits.
Oh, I would appreciate that very much.
Sure.
Slide a hand check with advantage, given Lockie's assisting you.
Thank God.
No, don't grip it there. You want to grip it slightly, 0.2 millimeters to the
No,
left.
don't put your pick.
Oh my God!
Not to the lightning. Don't. Put
I'm rolling really bad.
So that's a natural
You've rolled
one.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's a natural
Your
one for a
best
total
roll
of 10.
out of 5 is 9.
Luckily, your second roll is a 13, so we're not going to look at the natural one. 13. Yervith, as you grip this, try to pull it out. The force of its magnetic attraction to the metal, you don't get the sense this is something. Dexterity is not the tool required here. This is a strength. As you try and just pull this off, it is so firmly attached. The magnetic force holding this in place is too strong, and you sort of you find your hand slipping, and as you try and pivot and maneuver it, it's just too locked in place. It's been there too long.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we're going to need something a little bit more physical. Someone with.
I'm not precise, but I can.
Oh yeah. I will. That looks good to me.
All right.
Maybe I can try and.
Prize it with the picks.
Maybe if I push and you can pull.
Oh yes, that's
Could
right.
we wrap like a rope or something around it and tie a knot and pull it?
It's attached to the back, so you're gonna have to wrap the rope around the side, and then it's just gonna pull straight off. I'll save you guys some time.
Is it like a classic gemstone that tapers down into a point?
So it's a flat back with a circular front, and it's magnetized onto the side of the.
Okay.
It looks like it's designed to be placed onto something metal.
I'll try.
I see.
I'll try and get my mechanical fingers in there around it.
Yeah. Can you make me an athletics check, please, Lockie? I want you to make me an athletics check, Lockie.
Also, I'm going to use one of the charges to add my intelligence modifier.
Yes.
I am actively helping him.
How?
I don't know. Slip it around.
Lockie, you may make this check with disadvantage, given Yervith is getting in. No, I'm kidding. Just a normal check.
Well, I was going to say, if it was tapered, I could maybe try and pull it from the other way, but if it's not, then not a lot.
I love this. I'm trying to help. Okay, yeah, tell me how. I just am. I'm just getting my hands in there. I'm slapping his face a bit, kicking him up the bum.
Yeah.
Athletics check, please, Lockie.
All right, this is a +4. What I roll?
Yes, because you get your flash of.
Oh my
God.
Oh no!
It's a natural one.
Oh.
Do you have any inspiration, or do you have any channel inspirations?
I don't have Flash of Genius, unfortunately, at the moment. They're all used.
You don't have any channel inspirations? Chat, now's your chance really quickly.
How do you do it?
No, not accepted from players, only from viewers.
That sucks.
Lockie, as you grab it and try and pull, this thing's really stuck. You cannot grab this. No one could pull this off.
Can I give it a go, Owen?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Of course you
Let's
can.
go.
Oh my
Let's
God.
do it.
I want him to just go like pull it off straight.
Wow. I can add a D8 to that. That makes
Oh,
it
that's
13.
better.
13.
Yeah.
Because I still have Bardic Inspiration. That's a 13.
You're lucky you
Better.
rolled an 8 on that. The DC is
Wow.
13. Jin,
Oh!
as you grab it and begin pulling, you're like, "Argh!" And then it pops off. Jin, the second it pops off, I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh!
Oh no.
God damn it. Wisdom saving.
Do you know what the
throw
best bit
not my
is?
strong suit.
Only Jin has to make this save. It's when Jin touches the gemstone.
Oh,
15's not
You're
enough.
fucking-
You need a 16.
Oh!
Damn it.
Jin. You watch as the
Can
gemstone.
I-
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Yes.
It is before. It is. I was gonna say I have one more charge of Eldritch. Oh no, sorry.
Just
Bardic
Eldritch blast
Inspiration.
up into the ceiling.
I do have one more charge of Bardic Inspiration, but I think I
But you have to do it
before.
beforehand. Is it not a reaction, is it?
Oh, that sucks.
No.
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, no.
That's okay. It's not as bad as you think.
Okay.
As the gemstone touches you, there's a flash of light. You guys watch as the black smoke begins to pour out of the gemstone and cover Jin's hand, turning it black. Jin,
Oh, there.
the gemstone in your hand grows cold, and you hear a voice from behind you, a familiar voice, one that you've not heard for quite a long time.
Oh, fuck.
Welcome back, Jin. It's been some time.
Oh.
I just. Am I actually still in the ship right now?
Yeah. You can see your hand has turned black, and you hear this voice behind you.
I'll turn around and yeah.
You see a familiar figure, an elven-looking man, dark features, silver hair, these completely black eyes, the symbol of the
Oh.
shadow hand emblazoned on his chest.
Okay, I'm going to immediately let go of the gem.
Gemstone drops from your
Crystal.
hand and shatters as it hits the floor, turning to dust. Well,
Oh, man.
That was certainly dramatic. Were you hoping that would get rid of me?
I look around at my compatriots to see if they notice.
Do we see him?
You
What
guys
do we
can't see
see?
anything. You just see Jin looking at nothing in the empty doorway behind him.
Did he drop the gemstone in real life?
Yes.
Oh, well then I.
You dropped it.
Oh no! Jin!
All this work!
Do they sound normal to me? Like, can I still hear them, or do they
Yeah,
sound like an
You
echo?
can hear them. You can see them.
Oh, okay.
Everything's normal, except you can also see this figure, and this figure's just looking at you, sort of a half smile playing on his face as he looks at you. But your friends don't seem to have reacted to seeing him.
Yeah. Oh no!
Okay, I sort of whisper, "Do you guys see this?"
I
What are
see
you
the
talking-
gem that you dropped on the floor. That's
Yeah.
fair.
What are you talking about, Jin?
I'm gonna slap myself in the face of it.
Oh, Jin, there's no need for that.
Jin, what's wrong? Tell me.
We need someone to hit you.
What's going on?
Yes, someone should hit you, Jin. But why don't you ask the Metal Man? I think that would be quite fun to watch.
So you are actually here. Perfect. This day couldn't get any better.
Wait, who's here? Who are you talking to?
What's perfect? You dropped the gem.
So,
How is
like-
it perfect?
I start scanning around the room, like trying to look for this thing.
Yeah.
Jin, it seems you have forgotten our deal. I didn't take you for an oath breaker.
Ooh.
I was hoping to. Well. Yeah, there is a lot of things apparently we need to hash out.
I thought you'd
Barrows.
try to plead. Tell me that you were scared, that you were horrified, that you were ruined by the things I made you do in my name, but you seem quite reasonable. Yes, I think a chat is in order. And I have some fantastic news. You and I are going to have a lot of opportunity to catch up.
Why is that?
Well,
You've allowed me to reconnect with you, Jin. You did a good job of breaking that connection earlier, leaving the way you did before the oaths were fully complete. But now that you've touched the gemstone, well, I can talk to you any time I want. It's been hard tracking you down. I've kept my eye on you for the most part. Slippery little bastard. Changing forms. Remind me when we recruit changelings. We need some sort of brand that doesn't change with them, some identifying feature. If you could remind me of that, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Jin.
I sort of look at him. Would I know? Or would this be maybe a thing before, like when they adopted me?
As in, like, the brand to identify changelings?
Yeah, like, do I know that about this?
You don't know that would work. This seems to be something he's sort of like talking as if this is an idea he's had since then, with his trouble trying to track you down.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in future, I think something of that nature. Trying to locate you has been difficult, but not impossible.
Well, let's just hope that it can be difficult again.
Unfortunately, Jin, from now on, I'm always going to know where you are.
And I can see... He sort of comes over and taps your sword very gently. Yes, been getting quite a bit of use out of this, haven't we? Enjoying the Eldritch Blasts, all of your magic.
I sort of, I look around. I'm like... I say to my compatriots here, I'm like, nothing to see in here. I think we should leave, and I walk out the room.
After Jin has just had a conversation with empty air. With a black hand, with a completely black hand. His right hand now completely black.
Jin, you're going to need to elaborate a little bit more. I mean, you were just talking to yourself.
Yes,
then,
I will definitely elaborate in time.
Gemstone.
It is not the time right now.
You made Lockie really upset. He really wanted that.
Jin, you've made Lockie really
now.
upset, Jin.
Get out of my head. Okay, guys, let's continue with this. Actually, yeah, let's just get out of this room. I exit the room. Owen, what has happened? What happens?
He just walks along behind you and just follows you. Just walking with you as he's sort of walking next to you. This is nice. Look at this. A crashed airship. Oh, I wonder how many died in this crash.
Jin, you need to tell me what's going on.
I'll sort of look.
The hand is black.
I sort of look at my compatriots. When I touched the crystal to get it out and succeeded, I
Not for long.
may have reconnected with some of my past.
Come on now, Jin, we're friends by this point, surely.
Your past. Oh, you mean
Your
the shadow
past is talking to you?
You mean the shadow hand?
A little bit above them. Definitely connected. So I get a lot of my power from being a bard and being part of the Bard's College. I'm not a contemporary bard, though. I don't play as much music as others and such. I still do definitely enjoy it, and I like to add a bit of panache to my performances, but I get my powers from somewhere else. And I look at Varys.
You might not be a traditional bard, but you do play pretend quite a bit. Look at you, pretending to be someone you're not, pretending not to be a murderer. It's cute. I like it. It's good to have a hobby. It's time to come back to work.
I just ignore him and I look at Yervith and go, yes, well, when I was in the Shadow Hand, I may have gotten might have been forced to make a deal with an entity from the Shadowfell. So
That's not how
good
I remember
times.
it, Jin. You were very keen.
That was before I knew things. That's before I knew what
Oh,
I would be
Jin.
forced to do.
Buyer beware. If you're going to sign a contract, you should at least read it.
I was like, what, 10?
About that.
Looks young. That
Oh,
seems quite
no.
young.
Coerced into something that you didn't really want.
Wait, so
Hardly
you're 10.
coerced.
Aren't you not able to sign contracts until you're 13?
You should have had a legal guardian present.
Absolutely.
I look at Varys. Yes, Varys. What they said.
what's there saying? A petty mortal laws. We're a bit beyond those, aren't we, Jin?
Well, if you're in contact with this Shadow Hand now, you can maybe tell them how this all happened with this whole ship and everything.
I look at Varys actually and I go, yes, how did this actually all transpire? This whole ship.
Ooh. Do we want something, Jin? Do we want something from me?
Never mind then. Don't even worry about it.
Oh,
Oh.
but Jin, I'm more than happy to share. Tit for tat.
Can you
though.
just give me a second? I turned back to my. This is how are you guys actually looking right now? What is
I'm
the-
confused.
very confused.
Insane and
So
you're talking
confused.
to yourself.
I mean, you haven't had a crazy couple of days, so like
Yeah.
nothing is beyond him at the moment.
Yeah, but it's like we just need to get him some water and into the shade.
yeah. Like flying castles.
Jin, where did you
snake
find the purple
people.
berries? Don't eat those.
Yeah.
I've learnt this. Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you.
That'll work.
It's
Maybe-
the quenchiest.
Yes, perfect. Do we have anything else to look on this ship? There was that other part that all the doors were closed, and you have to make them jump.
Few people could still be
Do
alive.
you ever
back
shut
there.
up?
No, Jin. I
Whoa,
don't.
whoa.
I've
Damn
been
it.
waiting so long to have a chat with you. There's so much to share.
I appreciate
well,
the power, but it comes at a vastly too much of a cost.
Look, Jin, if
Oh.
you want to just sit this one out and catch up, maybe with your, I don't know. We
Jin, you're
Lockie
going
and I
to
can.
hurt.
Look,
Lockie and I-
Yervith, look, I'm talking to literally the patron that gives me my powers, my warlock powers, my Eldritch blasts and all that. This, you may not be able to see him. He is literally standing right next to you. Varys Nightshade.
Varys walks over to Yervith and whispers in his ear, "He's crazy." You don't hear anything, Yervith.
It is a patron. It is a deity of the Shadowfell, and vastly where I get a lot of my powers from, concerning my blasts and such, and
Yes.
other hexes and curses.
That's right, yes. It sounds like you're not very happy with our arrangement, Jin. Is that what you said? The cost was too high.
Why do you even give me powers still?
Well, then, that is a good question, isn't it, Jin? I wondered how long it'd take you to ask that. Would you prefer he clicks his fingers, take them away?
Wait, I point to my them. No, don't do that at all.
Oh, no.
None
your
of that
powers.
sort. Oh, my powers.
Would you like me to take them away?
What does he want with us?
What's happening, Jin?
He pointed at us. Why did you point at us?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, that's really.
Insight check.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
I could just as easily take your powers away if you'd like me to.
Oh, that's a good. Jin's contemplating that.
Is our arrangement null and void? Are you willing to terminate the contract?
See, I don't even know what the contract was.
Yeah, you didn't read the fine print.
I
Oh,
think
the
maybe
contract.
we should
Simple.
go outside if we're not already outside.
I think not bad. Although I really do need to find these things, but yes.
I'm just worried about the goblins returning.
Yes.
Goblins are least of my concern right now, unfortunately.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I know
Are
you.
they though, Jin?
You've
are
got some things to
goblins-
deal with, Jin.
The least
Yeah, it
of your
seems like having a bit of a
concern.
mental breakdown.
I think so.
I mean, what could have happened on this ship that goblins are running around with these crazy tattoos? It looks like something was done to the engine, Jin. Did you notice that? Something strange.
I noticed the engine, but
Hmm.
did you say the goblins had weird tattoos?
Yes, paintings all over them that resemble schematics of this very ship. I wonder where they could have got them from. And at the back, all those Yuan-Ti scales. Very strange.
I look at Yervith and I look at Lockie. I need to get off this ship.
Okay.
Continue
That's
searching.
not going to help you.
I'm going to bring down Shana or something. She can assist you, or Mira.
Yeah,
I'm going back up to the ship.
That's a good idea. I think that's
Go have a lay down. Often that helps.
I
Yeah.
sincerely hope it does.
Oh yes, that'll do it. A lay down. That'll help.
I walk out onto the deck, and if there's nothing out there,
He's
I'm
now
going to-
reclining, floating next to you. Where are we going now? Oh, that looks like a fun airship. Is that how you've been getting around so quickly?
I can't even dispel magic on my arm. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm going to I can't do nothing about him. I'm gonna go up onto the airship.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Just-
up the.
As you're climbing the rope, he's like left, right, left. Oh. Yep, you're good now. That's it. There we go. It's a good rhythm. Look at you go, Jen.
I get on the deck and I go, Mira or Shana, I have had to depart from the ship. May one of you assist the ones down there, and I will keep watch for any goblins with the other.
Can Shana?
Climb down a ladder, or climb down a rope.
I was gonna say, can she have a look at Illyrian or Jin and just sort of actually see
Make an
how
insight check.
sort of rattled he is?
Yeah, insight check. And the answer is yes. You can go down a rope.
I am
if you want.
so
You just wrap your
frazzled.
snake body around it.
Oh
And then
man.
I think you don't even need to do the insight check. I'll fail it, and
15.
I look frazzled as hell.
He looks really rattled. Every so
I
often,
will-
he
I'll
turns his
willingly
head
fail
slightly, as if someone's talking to him in his ear, as if he's listening to something that you can't hear. You watch Jin as Varys Nightshade walks up towards Shana, and sort of has a bit of a look at her and goes, "Wow, that's an interesting mutation. Very interesting. Look at all these things I'm learning by being around you. Look at us helping one another. Isn't it great?"
Better yet, maybe I should depart to my room, where there's nothing out of the ordinary, just ordinary room. Yes, I'm going to go to my room. See yous, and I walk off down into the lower deck.
You pass by Leos, and he's sort of coming back on deck. Goes, Jin, how is the airship?
Yes, not great. Yes, yep. It's an airship.
Are you
And I go down the lower deck.
are you okay? Right, okay. Jin, that wasn't very nice. He's your captain after all, isn't he? Look at his fancy hat.
I'm gonna try and find some form of earbuds or something I could just throw in my ears to shut him.
You could
drown
probably
out
get
the
some
noise.
cloth and try and jam some cloth in your ears. That'd probably work.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do something like that.
Yeah, as you jam it in, you see his mouth moving, but you hear no sound.
I'm gonna lay on my bed and just close my eyes.
And then you hear him laughing. He's going, "I didn't really think you'd fall for that." As he just mouths silently.
Oh.
Now,
cool.
Jin, now that we're alone, you and I need to have a little chat. You've been very, very disappointing. I had such high hopes for you in our organization. I bestowed so much power on you so young. And contrary to our agreement, you have not been furthering my interests in this plane. Well, that is, you weren't until fairly recently. And that's why I've decided to call off the assassins I had organized to murder you in your sleep. And instead,
Wait, you
I
had
think
assassins on me.
Oh yes, absolutely, the second you
From-
left.
But I was able to elude them, I take it.
As I said, you did a fairly good job,
Otherwise
and
I would be standing
someone
here.
was acting quite actively in thwarting my efforts to contact you. But no matter, that's been dealt with, and now you and I are free to chat whenever I want.
For now.
A busybody interfered, but they've been dealt with.
Okay. Can I rack my brain to who that busybody may be? I have a feeling I might know who it might be.
Oh yeah, who do you think it might be? You can say it loud. Who do you think it might be?
Oh, look. Off the top of my head, the person who's sort of been helping me is the. I have to get my notes up.
The Harpers.
But yeah, the Harpers, like the person from the Harpers.
And Susurrus, maybe the Tiefling.
Yeah, that's it. I think it'd be Susurrus.
He sort of sees you and goes, well, you think you know who it is. Interesting. I thought you were unaware of their interference, but perhaps I was wrong. Well,
I'm not going to tell you I think it may be. Otherwise, yeah, I don't want any harm upon them. But you may be alluding to something
it's far
else.
Too late for that, Jin. I've torn them apart. They're gone. They can't interfere any longer. I've made sure of that.
Are we speaking about the same person?
I'm not sure, Jin. Are we?
Oh man, I'm gonna insight check him.
Yeah, go on. Insight check a dark god.
I know. But
11.
An 11. No,
oh man, hard to read.
Yeah.
Just that self-deprecating smile, the way he's sort of talking and laughing. He seems very blasé, very relaxed, very confident, joking around a little bit, having a bit of fun. He seems so immensely confident and so immensely arrogant in this moment. You have to think there could be a reason why. I would say as your insight of 11, he seems very self-sure. So, Cult of the Dragon, or the Order of the Dragons, they'd like to call themselves. How on earth did you get interested in that group? Because I was always going to send you against them. That was always the plan. And you've done it on your own, without any interference from me. I couldn't be more proud. I was furious. Still am a bit. But proud now.
Why? Wait. Why would you even send me against them?
Oh,
why would that be on the cards?
You don't get to ask the questions here. You get shooty bow pow stuff. I get to know things. That's how our arrangement works. I give you powers, you give me knowledge, and you do what I say. And you're my slave for the rest of your life, of course. And your children. But let's not get bogged down by that. Let's focus on the now.
Did you say my children?
No, nothing to worry about, Jin. How did you
No, I definitely heard that.
Oh, it's probably a trick of the wind. I mean, you're hearing voices, Jin. Who knows what you're hearing right now? So, Cult of the Dragon. How did you get involved in taking down this group? Because you've been pretty active. Trust me, the whispers that have been going about against your Tempest group, my goodness, you've scared the shit out of them. They don't know who you are. Well, they know Mira, obviously.
I've been contracted to help against the fight of summoning Tiamat.
Fantastic. Well, you continue your excellent work, and you and I can have more chats like this. You can tell me things you've learnt, and I can tell you what to do.
Then what is it that you wish me to continue on this path?
Your sword. It's a special sword. I would like you to draw it. Please.
Is he referencing the sword currently at my hilt, like at my waist, or is he talking about the one that appeared to me all those years ago?
Know. You've got no idea. If you would, please.
I take out my sketchbook.
Jin, that's paper. I know they say the pen is mightier than the sword, but in this case, I want your actual sword, please.
I take out my longsword.
No. Jin, that's not your sword. That's just a sword you carry. I want you to draw your sword. Oh, I see. Draw. I see what you've done there. Very clever. Very cute. I want you to summon your sword. Please.
Can I actually do that?
You have no idea.
Yeah, right, okay. Look, there's a part of me that despises this guy.
But he's so lovely.
But there's also there's a part of me that there's a little curiosity sort of there that is sort of interested to see what this could be. I hesitantly and a bit of trepidation sort of look inward, close my eyes, and sort of see if I can draw from something like a power within me.
As you hold out your hand, you feel a weight suddenly drop into your hand, and as you open your eyes, you see the blackness that was on your hand has now condensed into a black sword. Quite unlike any other sword you've seen, but the sword that you had when you were younger. A little bit katana-esque looking rapier. It's been summoned into your hand, slowly leaking black smoke.
That's cool.
Ah, that's better.
Right. I look at him. I don't look. There's a lot of mixed emotions. A part of me feels a little bit ashamed for giving in. There's a part of me that has a bit of trepidation as well. A little bit of, what's the word? But there's a tiny little bit of excitement, and that sort of scares Jin because he had swore to turn off this from this path.
Doesn't it feel right? Balance absolutely perfect, and that blade sharper than thought.
What is this?
It's your blade, your sword. Well, our sword, really.
Okay. Well, I'll accept your power for now. I guess we have a common enemy.
For now, Jin, playing coy, you've been using my power for decades. And you've been getting away with it for free. Free ride's over, my friend. Time for you to start earning your keep. Use this sword. Continue acting against the cult of the dragons, and I will give you more instructions as time goes on. But for the moment, I need you to stab that sword into the Drakhorn. When you get the chance, of course.
Would you be willing to tell me what would happen if I did that?
I will be very happy, and you will be very rewarded.
You're not going to tell me what the outcome would be, though, are you?
Persuade me. Why should I tell you?
Well, I guess it's more just more of a common curiosity myself. There's a part of me that feels a lot of trepidation, but at the same time, a lot of excitement. If you tell me what you have in store, you could sway me. Maybe I would come along more willingly.
I see. You're hoping I can convince you that you should follow my orders. That's not how this works, Jin. You do as I say, or I strip you of everything that makes you special. But tell you what, just this once between friends. I'll tell you what will happen when you stab that sword through the horn. How about that? Bit of trust building, hey? Bit of you and me time. No iron team after all. Here's how it works. Second you jab that sword through the Drakhorn, I will be able to infuse my essence into it and draw it into your blade, thereby empowering your sword and empowering myself. Plus, I need access to some draconic energy, some of Tiamat's essence, and that's the best way I can think of getting it right now. Not much, just a smidge.
Right, okay.
You could stab it through your friend Mira, that would also work, but I figured you wouldn't want to do that.
No, that is definitely not on the cards at all.
Yes, and I still need Mira. Sorry, that goes without saying. If you could keep her alive for me, that would be fantastic.
Oh, you need her, do you?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. I need her. Yes, quite a bit. If you could keep her alive.
Sounds like a lot of players need her.
Yes.
There's a lot of people very interested in Mira.
Yes, she's very special.
Jin grows a bit quiet. There's a lot of swirling thoughts in his head. This is a lot to take in.
You could keep her alive.
I don't want to have to use the backup. I'd rather keep the primary going. If that's okay with
I
you.
think I have my own reasons for keeping Mira alive, and that's because she's my friend.
Exactly. See, you and I are working together. Already, you're doing exactly what I needed you to do. Keep Mira alive, act against the cult of the dragon. It's perfection. Synergy.
Jin has a little bit of like a hint of disdain as he's sort of talking about this.
That's not too hard, is it? You've already been doing both those things. And remember, when you get to the Drakhorn, just stab your little blade in. If you wouldn't mind. Please.
I sort of nod, but a bit hesitant.
Wonderful. Excellent. Now, you were with the Yuan T, correct? For a little bit. I do have one question. Did you speak with Daedalus? Because if you did, we're going to need to make some adjustments to the plan.
Why would that merit any adjustments?
Because the old Lich can see the future, and I'd rather not be under his influence.
Did I speak to Daedalus?
Yeah.
Everyone did. For quite a lot of time. Almost a full session.
I don't think I spoke directly to him.
You shared a secret, and you got questions answered.
Yeah, no, I'm speaking.
Oh, you're
to,
lying. Okay, beautiful.
Lyra.
Can you make me a deception check? Can you make me a deception check, please?
But I'm trying to play it off pretty coy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like thinking about
you
it.
convinced us.
21. Sort of looks at you and goes, okay. Good.
I'm actually making myself look puzzled myself.
Yeah.
But you don't remember? Normally stands out in the mind. He has a bit of an effect on people. Brings out their worst fears, their anger, their sadness. Yeah, it's all a manipulation to try and get you to do things. Well, that's okay. If you haven't spoken to Daedalus, then I don't need to do anything. Your life is safe. If you did speak to Daedalus, obviously, you'd be crazy not to let me know, because I could prevent your absolutely abhorrent, untimely, gruesome death. But if you didn't speak to him, not a problem. Don't need to worry about it then.
Can I insight check him?
Yes, you can, yeah.
Again, I want to see. Oh, that would be good.
19.
Oh, that's a good insight.
Oh yeah, he's definitely trying to manipulate you into telling the truth. But you don't get the sense he's manipulating you by lying. You get the sense he's not telling the whole truth, but you get the sense he's exaggerating a little bit, I would say. And that 100% he's trying to manipulate you into telling.
But is he sort of doing it from an aspect that he actually is saying that I could be in danger? Or is he sort of...
Judging by his body language, he's very casual and very sort of joking around with you, but he's done that while talking about pretty serious stuff. Yes, it's very possible that you are in danger, having spoken to Daedalus. He does give the indication, like the fact that he has even asked you about that indicates there's something here that he needs to know, or he wants to know. And you get the sense he wants you alive and well, definitely. I mean, I'm going to. If he wanted to kill you, you think he probably could.
Yeah. I'm going to say to him, what would be the ramifications of actually speaking to Daedalus?
Oh well, manipulation. He can see the future, so he knows what he needs to say to make you take a path, to choose differently. Barring that, he's quite a powerful wizard. So if you were resisting his effects or angering him, he might take a direct hand in things and force you to do what he wants. And these effects can last for years. At any point in the future, you might suddenly find yourself taking an action that you yourself had no idea what you were going to do. Completely against your own self-will. It's in a way that you don't wish. But yes, his ultimate goal is chaos. Freedom. Well, to be honest, I don't really know his ultimate goal. Chaos and freedom just seem to be the best bets, I would say. I can tell you, the people who have spoken to Daedalus, it doesn't end well. I'm not just talking death, I'm talking mass death.
Right.
Hundreds of people, thousands of people. Chaos, confusion. I mean, the ruin obviously started when one of the gods spoke to Daedalus.
I sort of look off into the distance, and I look puzzled still, and I make it look like almost like become a sort of come across like a revelation and go, now that I've really delved in deep, I think we definitely did talk to Didyrus.
Good boy. Well then, I best be going. I have some things I need to take care of. You can keep the sword for the moment. I think you've earned it.
Yes, thank you.
But maybe we can put it away for the moment. He touches the tip of the blade, and it melts back into a black tattoo of a sword on your wrist. Just touch that. Summon it whenever you want.
Thank you.
Such politeness. My pleasure, Jin. You and I are going
Admittedly,
to do some
on my
fun.
face, there's still a little bit of disdain on it.
He doesn't seem to notice or cares. He says, fantastic. I'm so pleased to be working with one of my favorite acolytes once again. All this musical, magical nonsense, you're over that now, right?
I sort of do a very, like,
Wow.
just like I just say, sure. Like,
Great.
very, like, but, like, it's sort of, you know how someone, like, says sure, but they're just like, just doing it very sarcastically.
Yeah.
Sure. Great. Good to hear. It would be very disappointing to see you
Like, give him
pursuing
a-
that dead-end career. I mean, there's no future in
Whoa.
that for you, Jin. No future at all. You just
so
haven't got
would
the
you-
stuff.
Are you
But-
going now? Is that what's happening? I can play a goodbye song if you like. Just from my
Yes,
a
Jin.
remnant from my
I-
dead end sort of
I would
role
love
in
it
life.
if you could play me a song as I leave. I would love it. That would
I'm
be
not going to do that now.
fantastic.
You're relishing this too much.
No, please let me share in this with you.
It was great to see you, Varys. I'm going to go now, and I'm going to walk out the door.
Bye. And you watch as Varys melts into shadow in front of your eyes, disappearing into the floor.
I'm going to walk back up to the deck.
Yeah. So meanwhile, what's
Anytime,
been
Jin.
so what all this has been happening? What's been
Back at
going
the
on?
plot.
Now?
Yeah, you guys have been wandering through the ship. You cross over the central section to the back of the ship, and as you go through the doors, yeah, there's all sorts of goodies hidden in the back of the ship. You can see there are supplies, food and water barrels that have been on this upper deck. Clearly, some noble was hoarding them during the journey. You can see the bodies of some of the people who were flying on the ship that have been probably during the crash were killed by the impact, and their bodies are just laid in these rooms ever since, just slowly decomposing. There are a number of trinkets and things. What I'll do is I'll type up all the things you get from that. But essentially, if you don't want to have the trinkets, if you just want to have the gold equivalent value of what you find, because it's all sort of random stuff, you essentially find 324 pieces worth of gold.
Nice.
Type it in the chat for you. 324 GP, 287 SP, and 416 CP of goods that you can just shove in the bag of holding and convert to gold at your next opportunity.
Do we find any, like, maybe not intact, but like whole-ish pieces of, say, cannons or engines or anything that would?
So looks like a passenger ship. The engine at the back, you've seen, Lockie. You've managed to get the repair supplies, the chest of repair supplies, which can be used to repair your airship. But the engine itself, you can try and extract it, but it's going to be difficult, and it's fairly damaged. And you can absolutely, and you can try and repair it. But I'll let you know now, it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be hard work. It's so damaged by whatever this sabotage was. It's going to be a lot of work.
Another thing that Yervith would like to just look out
Yeah.
for would be like any sort of like identifying like heraldry or name or anything that might indicate where this ship actually originated from, or who it might belong to.
Yeah, so there's not a huge amount. A lot of the clothes, because it's been here for 6-7 months, a lot of the clothes have been affected
Deteriorated.
by the decay as well. But you do find one of the trunks at the end of one of the beds has de Mowbray written on the front of it. I'll type that in chat for you.
Cool.
De Mowbray. And the family crest are two donkeys baying from a shield with an olive branch in the middle.
Cool.
Yeah, de Mowbray. And an older gentleman, the remains of an older gentleman with a monocle, and the moustache is still intact, this sort of large silver moustache.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And the ship itself, as you sort of come back on deck and begin looking around, you can see the ship itself is called the Crimson Starling. Chat to you for you if you like. There you go.
With the pieces we've found, would I be able to construct something?
With the what? Sorry, the pieces of the.
With the things that we've got so far, would I be able to like put together some sort of cannon or something along those lines to up the?
I'd say, yeah, you can use the items that would be to repair the ship. You could use them to construct an arcane cannon. Yeah, absolutely. So an arcane cannon is essentially you spend a spell slot to push it into the cannon. And then it does, basically it fires this beam of energy out at an enemy ship, dealing massive amounts of damage.
That's cool.
Force damage, specifically.
Cool. Okay.
Also known as an arcane lance as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
So, cool.
So I'll add those to your airship's inventory then, and I'll send you the stats for the arcane lance. Lockie, where are you going to mount it, on the front of the ship? You've got enough time in the journey to the Sea of Moving Ice. You've got enough time to mount it on the very front of the ship if you wanted.
Think about how the ship is set out. It is one. Is it like the deck? Is it one level, or does it have like?
No, there's an upper level at the back where the ship's steering wheel is. Yeah.
And that's higher, is it?
Yep. And then the front of the ship as well, the prow, also comes up to another level as well.
Does it?
That's
Oh,
higher
okay.
as well. Yeah, so the whole ship is sort of like this.
Yeah.
Would I be able to mount it on in a way that it would be like swivelable, so I could say spin it around the deck if we get attacked, or?
Yeah, just keep in mind though, if you're pointing it towards the back, you're gonna have to fire through the ship to.
Yeah.
But the front, you can have it on a swivel at the front. Absolutely, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll next session we'll have you do some artificing checks, and we'll have you do this over a course of a couple of long rests, and we can build this.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Sounds
Well,
Amazing.
I think that is where we will wrap things up for tonight. Oh, sorry, yes, Claire.
Oh, I was just going to say one last thing. I think
Yes.
Mira would have followed Jin. Can I roll to see how much of that conversation she heard?
Yes, you can.
Oh yeah. Well, you would have seen him acting really weird and gone.
I would have gone, oh, he needs my help.
I'll need a
and I
stealth
would-
check and a perception
Yeah.
check.
I would have closed the door, and I
Yeah.
would have been just too engrossed in that to even probably notice.
Depends
Yeah,
how
I'll-
bad her
Mira.
stealth check is.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
It's a
while
natural
they're
one.
rolling,
Yes.
while they're rolling, Lockie did want to say one thing to Shana.
Yes.
It finds a moment, takes your side, and says, I've never been one to follow the gods, but I understand that belief is a choice. And I believe that Lyra's out there somewhere. And I believe that we're going to find her.
Thanks. It means a lot. It's I'm entirely with you there. I don't feel like she's gone. But you're also believing has given me belief. And Shana's usually sort of quite an eloquent person, and she's just struggling to put words together.
Yeah. Mira, you are stealthy enough to avoid Jin hearing you. You hear his entire half of the conversation.
Whoa.
Yep, she stands up.
And then you have to like scrabble into your room and close the door as you hear him go, I'm leaving now. You're like,
Yes, and I'm like, and she just sits on the bed. She sits on the bed and she looks at her hands, wipe the bed, and just kind of just flipping them back and forth.
Oh yeah.
You
You
would
heard a
have-
bit about.
yeah.
Yeah, she heard all of that.
Because you would have
I
heard,
reckon-
you would have heard about like me talking about Mira saying she's my friend, blah blah blah, like all that sort of stuff.
I would have protected her anyway.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
stab her. That was nice.
It's the simple things in a friendship that count, hey? Friendship's built on trust. And sometimes
see,
you gotta learn to trust that your friend's not gonna stab you with a big sword made from dark energy, given to them by an evil patron god.
Yeah.
See,
Mira
the
doesn't
thing
have
that
many friends, so it's a possibility, you know.
the thing that's scary for Mira though would be like hearing me talk about that. But why am I even speaking in that like manner?
Yeah, exactly.
What's
Yeah.
what's happening
What's
there
changed?
that like even has this
Yeah.
conversation going? What else is being talked about Mira and just the numerous other things?
Well, it's one half of a conversation, right? Like,
Yeah, I know, it's so nutty.
mm,
And on that note, on that nutty note, this is how we finish our session. Doesn't sound good, does
wow.
it? That is how we finish our session tonight, apparently. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining. Ostensibly, this is how we end. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Awesome session. Yeah, you guys handled the goblins really, really well. That was brilliant. You avoided that entire encounter, essentially.
Yeah.
By some really clever use of magic. That was sweet. So thank you, everybody. We will see you all again next Tuesday for Avatar: The Last Airbender, Echoes of War, so Embers of War, and then for Tyranny of Dragons next Wednesday. Oh my god, back to back RPG goodness. How much fun is that? So we bid you good night. We will see you all again next time. Stay safe, stay well, and see you all again next Wednesday. Farewell.
Bye, guys.
See you all.
Goodbye.